If you've been on social media lately, you already know there's a massive rumor swirling around WWE right now. And just like clockwork, one of the faces of the company, Charlotte Flair, is finally breaking her silence. In this video, we're going to dive deep into what Charlotte had to say, her direct response to all the chatter, and what this could actually mean for the future of WWE moving forward. Trust me, if you're a wrestling fan, this is an update you absolutely need to hear. Let's start with the basics. In 2025, Charlotte Flair continues to reign supreme in WWE. She kicked off the year in dominant fashion, winning the Royal Rumble match and securing herself a championship opportunity at WrestleMania 41. The big question on everyone's mind was simple: would she go after the Women's World Championship, or would she set her sights on the Women's Championship instead? Now, if you've been following closely, you know the answer. Charlotte Flair is slated to challenge and most likely dethrone Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. It's the kind of matchup that feels both fresh and historic, a true passing of the torch moment, if WWE plays its cards right. But Charlotte's journey to this moment wasn't without adversity. It's easy to forget that she spent the entire year of 2024 on the sidelines, recovering from a brutal torn ACL and a torn meniscus. That kind of injury can change an athlete's career and their life. Yet, despite all the time she missed, Charlotte remained a cornerstone of WWE. She was missed, she was talked about, and now, she's ready to solidify her legacy even further in 2025. In my opinion, Charlotte Flair is already one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. Could she eventually claim the GOAT title outright? Maybe. Personally, I still have Trish Stratus holding that spot, especially when you factor in pioneering impact, reinvention, and longevity, but Charlotte is closing the gap quickly. Now, let's get to the rumors. Charlotte Flair has recently expressed her eagerness to be part of a potential Evolution 2 event, a sequel to the groundbreaking all-women's pay-per-view that WWE held back in 2018. That first Evolution was a major moment for women's wrestling, a celebration of how far the division had come, headlined by stars like Ronda Rousey, Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, and of course, Charlotte Flair herself. According to reports from WrestleVotes and PW Insider, WWE is planning a second all-women's premium live event this summer. If everything goes according to plan, Evolution 2 will take place on July 5th, at the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort in Uncasville. However, it's important to note that these plans are still preliminary. WWE is still in the development phase, and sources have indicated the schedule could shift depending on how things shake out. This highlights something every wrestling fan should understand by now: WWE event planning is fluid. What's true today could change tomorrow. Nothing is truly locked in until WWE officially announces it. To appreciate the significance of Evolution 2, you have to remember what made the first event so special. Held on October 28, 2018, at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Evolution was a true milestone. It featured a loaded card and historic moments, including a main event between Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey. But ask any hardcore wrestling fan, and they'll tell you the real main event was Becky Lynch vs. Charlotte Flair in a last woman standing match, a match that many still consider one of the greatest women's matches of all time. Who could forget that moment when Becky hit a brutal leg drop off the ladder onto Charlotte? It was the kind of moment that defined careers and changed the perception of women's wrestling forever. Now, to be fair, there was some controversy around the original Evolution. Some argued WWE only gave the women a spotlight because they were excluded from the Saudi Arabia shows, due to cultural restrictions. Regardless of the reasons, the result was undeniable. Evolution 2018 delivered and raised the bar. In a recent interview with Alex McCarthy of the Daily Mail, Charlotte Flair shared her thoughts about the possibility of Evolution 2. Here's what she had to say. "One of my favorite matches is from the first Evolution, Becky Lynch, the last woman standing. One of my top 3 favorite matches. There's always rumors that it's happening, so until it happens, I can't say yet, because we don't know. Y'all are the ones with the scoop, not me. I mean, I think it'd be great if we have it, but I still think the goal is to have more main events, more storylines, and build on the magic that we created at the first one. If it comes to fruition, I look forward to creating magic at Evolution 2. There's a lot to unpack there. First, Charlotte isn't just waiting around for a big one-night event. She's thinking bigger about consistent storylines, top billing, and pushing the women's division forward week after week, month after month. And honestly, she's right. One night of Evolution magic would be amazing, but what really matters for women's wrestling is sustained focus, main event opportunities, and the chance to tell great stories, not just on pay-per-view, but every week on Raw, SmackDown, and beyond. That brings us back to Charlotte's current feud with Tiffany Stratton. When Evolution happened in 2018, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair stole the show because they had a story, a deep, personal, months-long feud that made every spot in that last woman standing match mean something. The rivalry felt real. The emotion was raw. It wasn't manufactured in a few weeks. It was earned. In 2025, WWE is clearly trying to capture some of that magic again with Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. It would have been easy to run back Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, but WWE wisely realized the bigger long-term money is in building up someone new. Tiffany Stratton is poised to be the next big thing. She's young, athletic, charismatic, and understands the superstar part of being a WWE wrestler as much as the wrestler part. She has the look, the poise, and she's only getting better inside the ring. In a lot of ways, she's the modern evolution of what Charlotte was a decade ago. From WWE's perspective, putting Tiffany in a big match against Charlotte at WrestleMania makes perfect sense. Even if Tiffany loses, and let's be real, she probably will, the rub she gets from sharing the ring with Charlotte will be priceless. It's about the build-up before the match, the moment of standing toe-to-toe on the biggest stage, and the performance she delivers, win or lose. That said, should Tiffany actually win the match? Should WWE really crown her right now? That's the million-dollar question. Personally, I think Tiffany should absolutely go over Charlotte Flair. Another title reign does very little for Charlotte at this stage of her career. She's already cemented her legacy. She's already, in many people's eyes, the greatest woman to ever step into a WWE ring. Breaking her father's 16-time world championship record would be historic. Yes, but that moment doesn't need to come at the expense of a rising star like Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany winning could be a true torch-passing moment, one that sets the stage for the next decade of WWE's women's division. A loss wouldn't hurt Charlotte at all, but a victory would skyrocket Tiffany to the next level. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the plan. I think WWE sees Tiffany getting the rub just by being in the match. Even in defeat, it's a safe play, but maybe not the bold one the division needs right now. At the end of the day, though, Charlotte Flair's comments about Evolution 2 and her desire to keep pushing women's wrestling forward should be celebrated. She's thinking about the bigger picture, about inspiring the next generation, about building something that lasts longer than just one night. And that's what real greatness looks like. As we look ahead to WrestleMania 41, to a possible Evolution 2, and to the future of WWE's women's division, one thing is clear: Charlotte Flair isn't just chasing titles, she's chasing legacy, she's chasing history, and whether it's in a match against Tiffany Stratton, a dream match at Evolution 2, or a record-breaking title win down the road, Charlotte Flair is going to keep making magic.